Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Mikel Arteta has been speaking to the media ahead of Arsenal versus Crystal Palace this weekend, and he says we expect Julian Timber to be coming back at least before the end of the campaign. He says the signs are very positive, and therefore the fans should be very excited about Julian Timber. We'll be talking about a couple of other things that the manager has been speaking about, especially the injury crisis, and are we going to bounce back after that break? Are we going to see a different Arsenal? Are we going to see something different, something lovable, something interesting, and something inspiring about this team now that they've had a lot of time to go away and do their revision on how to finish chances? Okay, Mikel Arteta, first and foremost, they're asked about the injury crisis and the injury list and how it is actually looking. He says we still have a few, unfortunately, players in terms of injuries on that list that we haven't managed to get back yet. But hopefully, they are much closer and some of them are even in a much better place than we expected. Individually, I'm not going to tell you exactly how everybody is, but we still are missing a few players at the moment, and they are still on that injury list at the moment. So he says a couple of players are back, a couple of players are in a position much better than we expected, and he says I'm not going to tell you much about who's back and every single body, how they're actually doing, but you've got to know is a few are still out and some are still back. I'll give you something. I think Partey is one of those that are very, very close to coming back. I tell you that Julian Timber is not so close, but he's somewhere. He's somewhere very close to coming back. Gabriel Jesus, better. Fabio Vieira, better. That is all I can say. We'll get more from Mikel Arteta later as the season progresses, but also as we get to play more games as well. But Mikel says there the injury list is becoming better, and if we don't pick up more injuries, we could actually have a couple of players back, and the team could be full again. Mikel Arteta on whether anyone will be back this weekend. He says we are in touch, and we go with a few. That's what I would say at the moment. So he says, they are in touch, and they are also expecting a few to be back this weekend. Mikel Arteta on how the trip to Dubai went. He says it was great. It was a phenomenal camp in every sense. We worked really hard on the things that we wanted to do, and we recharged our batteries. The context and the change in environment, in beautiful weather helped us a little bit, and the togetherness and the moments we shared together were great as well. We feel fully recharged. Look, I don't know how many people believe this, but I really think Arsenal massively needed that break. We massively needed that break. We are one of those teams that literally do not actually have, we didn't have many players playing well, and we didn't have so many players to actually come in and replace the players that were not doing well. So we didn't have a replacement for Saka, you didn't have a replacement for Odegaard, there was no replacement for Declan Rice, no replacement for Saliba. All we needed was a break from football, and this kind of match day in, match day out, at times it can help, at times you can play yourselves out of a difficult zone. But when it doesn't work, when you can't play every single game, and you can't play yourself out of a difficult spell, it is bad news. So Mikel is right. I'm not really sure about the batteries being fully recharged. We are going to see that tomorrow. But what I can confirm and what I have seen with this team is that when we go away for a break, and when we come back, we are a different monster. We're a different team. And what I expect out of Arsenal and Mikel Arteta's men is to come back and give us a very good experience. Do it like they've never done it before. Run like they've never run before. Fight like they've never fought before. Kick like they've never kicked before. And score like they've never scored before. And I hope that Mikel Arteta has been working on the lack of goals and the poor finishing. The team has been, literally, suffering from in the last few games. Mikel Arteta, on if the break came at a good time, he says it was a very, very good time. I think it gave us an opportunity to look at things with a different perspective and analyze what we've been doing. And I will take a lot of positives from the first 6 months of the competition. Even though the results haven't gone our way in the last few games, when you look at what we have produced in terms of the Premier League and any other team, we are up there. And I don't disagree with Mikel. I don't disagree with them in that regard. I think we are competitive, and we have been competitive for the whole season. The problem has been us ignoring the direct problems that are directly staring at our faces. Hey, you can't score goals. Hey, you don't have enough squad depth. Hey, Partey can't stay fit all season. Hey, all those problems that have been, manifesting themselves and shoving themselves directly into our faces. If you can deal with that, I think we are a good side. We are a competitive side. We are a much better side as compared to as many of the teams that we are, competing with. Probably behind Liverpool, probably behind Manchester City, definitely behind Manchester City, probably behind Liverpool. But I can't say Arsenal are the worst team in the league. I can't say Arsenal are not good. Yes, we are one of the worst teams when it comes to scoring goals from open play. But is that something that could be worked on? Definitely. Is that something Mikel Arteta has worked on? Let's see when we take on Crystal Palace this weekend. Mikel Arteta, on the focus shifting to taking our opportunities in front of goal, it says we need to continue with who we are. Come on, Mikel. Come on. It says defeat cannot make you lose who you are, because if you do that, then you were never who you said you were. What you have to contribute to be ourselves, but there are certain details and marginal gains that we have to improve and evolve. And the beautiful thing about my job is to constantly find the evolution of a team and what it needs to do to keep winning and winning and winning. Well, listen, if Mikel Arteta has not talked about finishing as a key point of serious damage to this group of players, then he's an absolute joke. He is an absolute joke if he's not done it. Because any manager, if you go to a press conference and you're asked, do you think you have chances to win the league? And then you say, we don't have chances to win the league if we continue finishing like that, badly like that. It means that if the media are hearing about it, your players are hearing about it as well. So I don't want to buy all this facade of Mikel Arteta. Well, we need to stay who we are and all that. We are in a goal scoring crisis, and I know he's told these players, and I know he's explained to these men, if you continue to finish like this, you're out of the top 4. If you score 60 goals, just 60, 65, 66, you're out of the top 4. I'm giving you my word. Spurs look much better than they actually look. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Liverpool, much better, definitely. Man City, much better, definitely. So we've got to do better, and we've got to be much, much better. Like really much, much better. Mikel Arteta, on the extent, confidence has become an issue to the team. He says that's a big factor, but if you don't want to produce the number of chances, it says, but if you don't produce the number of chances that we have created and expect to create more than any other team in the league, we are going to score enough goals. But I love the players that I have, the way they look, the way they work, and the way they go out about it and come, and that will come. We all love the players we have. Do I think Arsenal have a crisis, an identity crisis? No. So we already know who we are, and we know where we've been and where we're going. So do I think Arsenal have a psychological problem, a mental problem? I don't think so. I don't think we have a mental problem. I don't think we have a psychological problem. I think it's a few games we've performed poorly. Psychologically, it will come to the players, but 1 or 2 wins, convincing wins, will actually turn that around. So all we've got to do is beat Crystal Palace like we've never beaten them before, 4 goals. Go and beat Nottingham Forest, 3 or 4 goals, and the problem is solved, and the boys can finish again, and everything is okay, and we get back to business, because everyone wants to see Arsenal back to business. So Mikel Arteta, on if it is important that Gabriel Jesus scores more in the second half of the campaign, he says yes, but that's for everybody. We have to look and share the goals, and we are responsible for everything. On set pieces, the goalkeeper is responsible, the striker is responsible, and when there is a throw-in, everybody is responsible for whatever happens with that throw-in. We have to share the responsibility like we have always done. Do I agree with Mikel? No, I don't. I think our number 9, if he chooses to stay as our number 9, he's got to score the goals. Like, I do not even care. He's got to bang in the goals. He's got to put those balls into the top bins. If he's your number 9 and you're sticking with him, you could have chosen to sign Dusan Vlahovic. You could have chosen to sign Saku Girassi. You could have chosen to get a player like I don't know, Timo Werner on loan. The moment you don't do that, the moment you trust your striker, you've got to make it clear to him that we are trusting you because we believe in you. We trust you because we know you can. So all these excuses of everybody has to score goals, like, we will always look at Gabriel Jesus and say, do we need to upgrade him? Why? Because he's our striker, he's our number 9, and we're comparing him to Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, and a couple of other strikers in the world, the top strikers, the Kylian Mbappes of this world. So if he's either got to score the goals, or he's got to get out of the team. It's a non-negotiable position. It's a position like the goalkeeping department. You're either keeping those balls out of the back of the net, or you're on the bench. The striker, you're either putting those balls into the back of the net, or you're sitting on the bench. You're out of the team. You're looking for another place to play your football, right? So I personally don't agree with Mikel. Our striker needs to score more goals. Like, it's obvious. Mikel Arteta, on reports linking us with the striker in this window, he says no, because I love the players we have. No striker is coming in. There you have it. Mikel Arteta, no striker is coming in. And Karim Benzema, Sahu Girassi, who else have we been linked with, right? No. Mikel says no. Nothing. We are not signing anyone. We love the players we have. On how much respect he has for Roy Hodgson, it has massive respect and big admiration for the way he's conducted himself, and especially the trajectory that he has had. His teams are extremely well organized and hard to beat. That is not true. He's really good at provoking things that he wants in the game, and tomorrow is going to be a big battle for us, that's for sure. I think Crystal Palace are really nice. I think they're organized. I think they have a very good midfield. I love them. I love Eze. I love Olise. I love Odson Edward. I love Jamerson Lama. I love Chuck Decore. I don't think they're a very hard team to beat. I think Arsenal should be beating Crystal Palace with no excuses. That's what I think. If no one thinks the same way, beautiful, right? But I think we should beat them, hands down. Mikel Arteta, on what his message is to his players: keep doing what we're doing, and the small margins to improve. That's it. On whether he can see himself still managing Arsenal at the age of at the age of 76. It says you always have to ask me that question. At the moment, I cannot see that happening because you never know. The job is extremely addictive, and when you do it like I do with people that I love and respect so much, you never know. It's difficult to find a better place or a thing to do in life. On what the key is to lasting that long in the game, because says the passion and love for the game, that is for sure. Enjoying the company and people you work with, and then being very good at dealing with defeats, that's for sure. All managers in the end, we lose more than we win, and I think you have to be really good at that. Okay, I'll take that. I'll pick that in mind. On whether he has got better at dealing with defeat, he says, I'm not sure. Every defeat is extremely painful, but after every defeat, you're closer to winning again, and it makes you a better coach, and it makes you reflect and act on and be all the time on the move. That is what is all about, and that is what being a good manager is all about as well. So Mikel Arteta there, talking about the likes of Julian Timber, talking about the likes of Thomas Partey. There was a Julian Timber quote, and I was looking for it before we were closing this one down. Okay, can I find it? Okay. On Emil Smith-Rowe's future, it says, I'm really happy for Emil. He's on the right trajectory. Now he's settled and he's training really well. You know that I'm not going to talk about any individual situation when it comes to transfers. And finally, on how close Julian Timber is to playing, says there's a possibility, but at the moment he's still very, very far from competing. That's the reality of it. We are hopeful that he can have an impact at the end of the campaign if everything actually goes well. So Julian Timber, you will see him again this campaign. I sign out.